is a roadway that's been cut through here, but if I move the camera over here and show you like a heavily wooded area, you can very easily go inside those trees and you can't be seen from the air or the ground, and that's what they're up against. This is a really difficult search, and especially because it does cover such a wide area. And again, I told you they're over closer to Venice now, and that's a little bit different. They stopped the search yesterday. Today they're continuing it, but in a completely different area. So I'm wondering if they maybe have some new information to lead them to this area. But this area is drier than the other area. It still has a lot of flooded areas and a lot of wooded patches as well. So you have a little bit different topography. You have this area that they're going through, almost like a flat, where there's not a lot of water. But if I move the camera and show you up to this woods, you can go into this area where it's really thick woods, and you can hide and nobody can find you, and it's going to be tough to even walk through there because, again, the snakes, the alligators, the other wildlife. So again, very difficult search that they're doing. I'll pull the camera in really wide and show you this area, the vastness of it. That's over towards Venice, and it's just woods and woods for as far as you can see. So again, this search is going to take a while.
I don't know what I did wrong. I can't change my camera.
So JB, I'm going to throw it back to you right now.
That's all right.
Eagle 8 HD's Paul.
There's nothing happening. I'm just watching this
Thanks
news.
a lot, Paul. We'll check back
They're
in with
looking for
Paul a little
Brian.
bit later on here. Back with you live on WFLA now. We've got Paul Emerson in the sky and Eagle 8 HD. Tap of the touchscreen, we can bring up Walt Buteau here. Everybody, 8 on your side, senior investigator. I'm JD Buno. We're here live again for the search for Brian Laundrie at Carlton Reserve. As Walt mentioned earlier, Walt, you're learning your geography here in Florida pretty quickly. We're live here right near
What is this? I've seen this guy share this before. This is totally off topic. Let's see what he's up to. He does a video called Meet Your Favorite Pedophile. Good morning. I don't know what this is I'm watching. How are you? I like the sunshine. You know, Mama Kid. This is Mama Kid. Yeah, it's people, Mama Kid. I don't know. It was something posted by Lamont at Large. I was going to try to figure out what the heck it was, and I was like, no, that's just too weird and annoying. I better shut it off. Oh, you look so mad. Oh, you look mad. Kitty's mad. How are you, Bob? I saw your video this morning. Also saw you over in Benny's. I don't know what he does anymore over there. He don't even talk about missing people anymore. He talks about the people he has beefs with on YouTube the whole time. She's just a sweet kitty. Her name's Susie. This is Susie. I'm just hanging out. I was watching them searching for him, and then Lamont's thing popped up. Let me stop that. My cat likes to claw me all the time.
This is a very vast, as you just heard Paul talk about there, a very vast area.
Oh, is that so?
And you're not alone. If you felt your heart kind of sink when Paul, who has many, many years of experience,
I had not heard that about Lamont.
Covering stories from the sky, if your heart sank a little bit when he said, see that wooded area right there? You can't see in there from the ground. You can't see in there from the sky. And there's thousands of dense wooded spots.
Josie.
You can see a bunch of them here in the center of your screen.
I just subscribed to Lamont at
Or
Large.
anyone, a missing person could be in there.
Great.
And it would take
like you do.
a
See, I like the
staggering amount
great
of time to
visiting
comb through
people.
all of that wooded area, that dense wooded area, to find anything. So at this point, I think, Walton,
I
correct me
like
if I'm wrong, but
cemeteries.
they're looking for
I
any
have since I was
signs or
little.
any footprints or anything that could lead them to where Brian Laundrie was.
You
or
would
could
think
be.
so, right? And the other
They're
thing to
quiet
remember, though,
and pretty.
the family had said that was a place that he went. He liked to go there. I've been someone who has done. I've done hiking in wooded areas, and I knew those areas pretty well. Nothing like this necessarily, but you know trails. Sometimes the trails aren't obvious, so he may know of a place where he would go, an exact place where he knows there are within those trees you see, that stand of trees, there could be spaces between the trees, maybe a more impromptu path that
Why
people
would you
have cut.
do that?
I know
Why would you
I've
spread it
experienced
out like
before.
that?
And if this
I
guy
don't
had gone there a
understand. It
lot,
doesn't seem
what is
very
his
smart.
experience and what was his favorite place? It's 25,000 acres. It's the size of a city, for crying out loud, and so there's a lot of space.
Is it?
And yeah, you wonder if, as Paul pointed
I
out,
haven't
they're
seen
on the
that
main road, one of the trails, I assume 80 miles of trails. They're on that. Are they with their binoculars looking for broken branches, signs that somebody might have entered a wooded area? Those are things we don't know yet. And according to Northport Police, there are no plans for a news conference today, and any new information is supposed to come out of the Denver office of the FBI. So we may not find out anything today unless they actually find Brian Laundrie.
Take a moment, folks. We're going to start taking your hashtag HeyWalt, hashtag HeyJB comments in about 90
I
seconds.
just watch it on YouTube. You can
So
watch
take
it
a
live
moment.
all over the internet.
Open up Maps or Google
Their
Maps on
website,
your
Facebook,
phone.
YouTube.
Type in Carlton Reserve, okay, Florida, in Google Maps or whatever map
Yeah, the
application you
cemeteries.
use. Switch to satellite view and
Also
just look
watch
at how large of an area that the FBI and search teams
Faces
are
of the
currently
Forgotten.
navigating through. It is a
He buys
staggering
headstones for people. and
area
shit. That's
as
pretty
far as scope and size, and you can see here that there are quite a
Why aren't
number
they
of
using
teams here
FLIR?
on the ground here currently looking
Or
for
we're
Brian
looking
Laundrie.
infrared,
But
they
again,
go out at
I
night.
keep going back to
Anything
this. We don't,
puts
there's
off a
one-
heat
we don't know the
signature
answer to
shows
this
up.
question,
What
but
are you
keep
doing
going
that
back to
for?
this,
Don't
Carl,
do
to
that
our
to me.
commenters here.
Sticking
This
a
was a
claw in
search
my
that,
boob. That's a
again,
bad
the
kid.
search didn't occur yesterday. Monday, they didn't search this area. Monday, they executed the search warrant at the house, left with all the boxes. Follow News Nation's Brian Enton on Twitter. He has a great shot of them lifting all the boxes into that law enforcement vehicle.
Excuse
There,
me, I'm
all
finishing
the
my
evidence that they collected over the course of the search warrant. That was yesterday. Was there something that
Very
we
smart.
learned during the execution of the search warrant, during any potential possible conversations with Brian Laundrie's parents? Was there anything that we have learned over the last 30 or so hours that leads to us being back here?
Like, did they say something like, well, when Brian went, he would park on the Venice side of the reserve? By the way, to give you some perspective, I'm going to do some Googling here. Within the
He
entire
really is a
city
great
of
guy. I
Tampa,
really like him. He's so
42
respectable and nice.
surrounding suburbs covers 70,000 acres. So
He seems
this
to really care
reserve
about all the people he talks about.
more than a third the size of Tampa, with all trees. Just imagine that for perspective. That's a large area to cover. A lot of it is water. And there's the command center that Paul was talking about.
Here to a full screen, and you can see that this is home base for the search efforts here, and again, an enormous area being searched for Brian Laundrie here. And I'd like to just take a moment, and this is something that I've been trying to do over the course of of our coverage here on WFLA Now. I'd just like to take a moment to give some words of encouragement to the FBI and to local investigators and to police here that have been working day and night around the clock to try and find Brian
You're not
Laundrie.
watching your
This is
broadcast, guy.
grueling work. It's difficult work, and
You're pissy.
everyone following their every move. It's easy to scrutinize this when we're looking at it literally from a bird's eye view. But right now, they are mobilizing clearly here. We'll go full screen here again, mobilizing and doing everything that they can to find Brian Laundrie. You can see different types of vehicles now being sent into the wooded area here to look for Brian Laundrie.
And I think there's been a lot of sleuthing on the internet with this particular story for a lot of reasons, but and people get frustrated. Why aren't they telling us more? And I think we get a view of what they're doing. Like, for example, last week, the search warrant and the affidavit. filed on the 14th and then the 15th. We didn't know that that was actually filed. And they didn't tell us that. I'm sure in order to perhaps keep it from Brian, maybe, I don't know. But they filed these documents without us knowing, and for all we know, there are filings right now that might tell us more about this, and we may not know about it until after the fact. Police want to hold their cards close to the vest for a lot of reasons.
The autopsy is being
but
performed.
These documents were filed last week. We found out about them yesterday. We had a search warrant executed yesterday. You just referenced it at the Laundrie's home, but we're still waiting on the affidavit that would perhaps shed some light onto what they told the judge in order to allow them into that house to gather those boxes of evidence. So it's
Paul zooming in here on some of this water here, and again,
looks like a few vehicles took off from that command post at the same time. One, I think I counted 3. So.
And we might see gators, we might see different forms of wildlife here. When we go live in Eagle 8 HD, sometimes whether it's over the water, we'll see dolphins, we'll see sharks, we'll see rays. When we go live in wooded areas like this, it's not out of the ordinary to see a gator or to see wildlife in some shape or form. So there's a lot of different things we might be seeing here, folks. So we'll keep this here in the center of our screen. And if I see anything, or Walt, if you see anything, it's a tap on the touchscreen. We're there full screen, and we can kind of zone in there and hone in on what we're looking at. Let's get to some more of the comments and the questions that are coming in here to Twitter from Antisocial Extrovert. That's Twitter there, folks. #KJB. How much of this reserve did they search the first time? Is it likely that they will be able to cover enough land with the amount of law enforcement currently searching currently? And
I'm going to go with no on that. Enough. The word enough is tough, right? Enough would mean you got to find them, in my opinion. I think the officers would say the same thing. I think we knew there were 50 officers on Saturday and Sunday on one side of the preserve, but again, 25,000 acres of land, 80 miles of trails.
Why aren't they using
and I believe it is next to another reserve. With a name I cannot
have somebody
pronounce.
sit out there real early in the morning.
It is one wooded area connected to another, and we have
look for
possibly
a young man,
where he's trying to warm himself up who has more experience in that wooded area than maybe some of those officers, since he went there on a regular basis to hike. So we don't. They will. That's a great question. We will ask them how much have they possibly covered. It's now been a third day, so and they're in a different area.
Eagle might be mobilizing to and checking out a different area here, folks. We'll keep you posted on where Eagle is heading. Currently not pointed here at the ground, but that could be for good reason. From
I was just bored and thought I'd come on here. I didn't have a whole lot to say.
Any contact with Brian Laundrie?
Hello, I just turned on to see if anybody showed up.
Is he legally obligated to notify police if he is in contact? This is a phenomenal question. I'm glad that Rosamond here asked the second portion of this question here. I'll make sure I have this right here, Walt. But let's address the first part here. Has the attorney indicated any contact with Brian Laundrie since his disappearance? Of course not. If the attorney had indicated that there was any contact with their client, they of course that would have been we would have a better idea of where Brian Laundrie is, because of course the attorney would have indicated where, of course, the location of said contact. But is he legally obligated? Is the attorney, Stephen Bertolino, is the attorney legally obligated to notify police if he is in contact, considering that he is a missing persons case in Florida?
I would say no. I don't know the exact answer to that, but I would say no. I will tell you that the last we heard from the Laundrie family attorney, Stephen Bertolino, had scheduled a news conference for this morning.
I don't even know if he's out there. I kind of thought he went out there to kill himself.
As per my conversation with the FBI, you can read that into that as much as you want. As per my conversation,
they say, he's used to living off grid. He's used to living off grid with all the conveniences.
No inferences should be.
That's a little different than just trekking off out into the Everglades and having to survive on your own.
He references the FBI.
With no company.
So he canceled his news conference.
No social media, because if he does any of that, they'll know where he is.
Cancel the news conference for some reason. We don't know.
I almost bet you that's how they'll end up getting him. Is he'll get too bored and he'll turn on his phone.
In a New York area hotel.
I thought it was a little strange. That the conference was called for the following day, and then it was canceled subsequently.
I was just peeved.
Based on, again, communication with law enforcement. It just seemed that whole scenario seemed a little bit strange. to call a presser. Why call a press conference in the first place?
Right, what were you going to say?
What were you going to announce to the world?
I don't know.
You don't know where Brian is? Please stop calling? It's your job to have your phones ring off the hook when you're an attorney of this magnitude.
And here's the great point here, and nobody right now is capable of this, including us. No inferences should be drawn from the statement. Well, all we have is a 2-sentence statement, and I think the public is drawing a lot of inferences, as we've seen from some of the questions. And some of the
he either
comments
walked into that place and killed himself.
Eagle, again, we're going to have updates
here
like
the day he went there. Or he didn't really go there. He left the car there.
Wrestler, #KJB, this one from Facebook.
And he probably left the country before they ever found her body.
Assuming this isn't a wild.
He's a coward. He's going to do what a coward does.
I've been talking about these possibilities.
That's what he's done every step of the way.
Thermal imaging technology and
That's the
thermal
easiest way to
imaging
predict what he's going to do is go, well, what would a coward
allow
do?
you to continue an aerial search around the clock. When the sun goes down.
Although this case is so big, I'm kind of thinking there's nowhere he can go in the world
thermal imaging technology
and not be noticed.
Can be of help, of course, because you can continue looking in the overnight hours. I have asked several times if there is any thermal imaging choppers that are currently scanning the area. We have not gotten word on that. And as we understand it, there have not been choppers flying over the search area in the overnight hours. So, the search has been coordinated throughout the day. And as we understand it, again, not that the search for Brian Laundrie ends at night, but the search for Brian Laundrie at Carlton Reserve, as we understand it, ends at night.
I always get mad when they show that.
Of course, keep posted if that changes or if we get any more information that there were crews out there in the overnight hours. We got here from Mitchell Klopp on Twitter. Was there clues of Brian being located in the Carlton Reserve? #KJB, #Walton.
The clue is from the family when the police asked about him on, I think it was Friday, and they said, "Oh, he hasn't been here since Tuesday. He went hiking in." I don't know if they used the word favorite, but in the Carlton Reserve. So I think it was I believe it was a frequent hiking spot for him. So that is the clue. That's what has brought them to the Carlton Reserve. The parents telling police. But again, did he go there on Tuesday? Has he been in that wooded area for a week?
How far can you get?
If you're a survivalist, if you know how to hunt, I don't know. I mean, in a movie, you could be hidden for a week.
If you're Rambo, you can get anywhere at any time and roam through the woods and hide for days and hours and cover yourself in mud.
I just used to having a little cute van, a little cute tent.
We know Gabby and Brian were camping in off the grid areas and in secluded places. So maybe he has some skills in that area. We don't know that though. We have not. The parents haven't talked, to the frustration of police and the FBI.
I don't think he does. I mean,
let's talk about Alana Cameron's comment here. Hello there, Alana. #KJB, #KWalt. What happened with him supposedly being in Alabama?
He seems like a Boy Scout kind of camper, or you know what I mean?
I find it very, very strange.
I don't know. To him, being off the grid is living in a van and having all that stuff. I don't know if he can do what he has to do there.
But my previous station was WKRG in Mobile, Alabama. And
clean water.
There was news or possible sightings
all the
in Mobile
time, all
yesterday.
day.
I thought there's just no way. I already have enough connections to the story.
Why no way?
Because I already have enough connections to this story, and it was just it just seemed like I felt like I felt like I was living in a weird alternate reality of some kind. Because again, I grew up on Long Island. I live now here in Tampa Bay. I have a lot of connections to this story personally.
Yeah.
And I have family in both areas of the country, on Long Island and in Florida, that have been texting me around the clock about this story.
Yeah.
And I also have tons of friends and colleagues of mine, former colleagues
he's
of
been
mine
out there
in
now
Mobile
for
County, Alabama. And there was a lot
for a week.
of speculation yesterday as to whether or not
shouldn't he be running out of food, running out of clean water?
You'll have to forgive me, folks. My immediate thought was there's just
having to struggle for water will get old
where
really
I am
fast.
right now on this story, because I know so many people.
You know what I mean? You're used to just grabbing a bottle of water.
He
might end up making himself sick drinking water. It's not okay.
Not to be Brian Laundrie, and there have been sightings, and Mobile police have received enough tips to be looking into it, but there is nothing at this time to lead us to believe with any degree of certainty that Brian Laundrie is or was ever
think about that.
Sorry
We don't
about that.
have
My sister didn't
in these
realize
cases,
I
but
was
we have it
live.
here. So everybody probably, anybody who looks like that is probably getting some stares.
I just
Right. And I was talking about it yesterday. It's not an all that uncommon sort of look to have a shaved head and facial hair and to be, I guess,
Trim.
would you describe him as lanky?
Yeah, he's
Somewhat
like, he's
lanky.
trim. Sure.
Yeah.
And you know what?
There's a lot of guys out there like that match the description.
Sure, and people also have unique walks. We saw him walk. I think that's an important profiling tool. Really, the guy walked.
There's a walk.
There's a walk right there. So you get an idea, and there's another guy. That's the dad. So again, yeah, it's a common look. We also had a tip that he was in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Around the same time that he was
He's
in.
been coming in a lot.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's,
And
even though it's Florida, what he's doing is harder than people realize.
And of course, it emerges out of Jacksonville.
And every day it wears on you.
We were
Like,
monitoring the
you're sick
news
of it.
out of Southern Alabama yesterday.
There'll
just
come
to
a
see
point
there
if
was
he's
any,
living out there when he
validity
goes, you
there,
know what?
and it turned out, of course, not to be the case.
Cotton
Mobile
Three
Police,
Squares might
I know
be nice
Mobile
right about
Police.
now.
I worked with Mobile Police for 5 years. I know them. I know the folks over there. They're great people.
When jail starts looking better, he'll come out the woods.
Let's get to this one here from Twitter, from Kim
My
Walsh
cat's
Reed
talking.
on Twitter. Do the authorities not have infrared helicopters? Hashtag Gabby Petito, hashtag Brian Laundrie, hashtag KJB, hashtag Kate Paul. And we don't know,
We don't know that.
We don't know that.
And by the way, they more than likely don't want us to know that. That's one of their tools.
That's an outstanding point, Walt. They're not going to
brag about this
broadcast
stuff.
that to the world.
If they catch him
Yes,
that way,
they
they'll tell
do.
us. But they don't want us to know as little as possible because they don't know if he's listening. Although I don't know how he's listening out there.
Let me tell you, this is again outstanding comment and question that I've been so wrapped into this story now day and night for the last week plus that I forget about little things. The little things matter, and the little things like what Ali Sia just commented here on Facebook Live. Hashtag KJV. Some of us are still wearing masks.
Yeah.
Can he hide his identity with a mask and possibly a hat, and then
Sure.
put on sunglasses, you put on a hat, you put on a mask. You don't know that it's a bald guy. You don't know that it's a guy with facial hair. You have no idea what he looks like, and you wouldn't say that that's out of the ordinary because
That's
you're outside.
disturbing.
Okay, you put on sunglasses.
I hope
You're
people
outside,
are
you put on
looking
a hat to
beyond
shade
the
your
mask
face
and the
from the sun.
sunglasses.
And you're wearing a mask because of COVID.
I would say though, this guy has such a high visibility, and again, going back to the video, we also know his height, his body frame. We've seen him move. We've heard his voice. I think it would be hard with that, but yeah, there's no doubt. And we also everybody watching this right now is fascinated by the story. Not everybody's fascinated by the story. There are people who are not watching it this closely. So there are people out there who don't know who Gabby Petito is right now. Believe it or not, I
A
know it's
lot
hard
of
to
people
believe.
do.
And
I'm
people who don't
surprised
know
because,
who they haven't
I'm
watched
into
the
this
story.
all the time.
So I'm not saying
I have
going
people
to
all
say
the
it's
time
impossible for
saying,
him
is there anything new
to
about
somehow
Gabby
get away, if you
Petito?
will.
Just in my everyday
Let me share
life, because they know I do
that,
that.
I've received word, and I don't know that if this is 100% true, but I have received word off the clock in the last 24 hours that the Petito and /or Schmidt families have been watching some WFLA Now clips that have been surfacing online, and some of the live streams, just some of our coverage here of this story. And I just want to take a moment here, and we have been, we have tried to do things as much as possible here to be as respectful to this story as possible, to the sensitivity that is necessary for a story like this when we have a family that is grieving, a family that is in a tremendous
They're not
amount of
talking
pain,
about
a
vultures
family
on here,
that has
Bob.
been really suffering here. And from Walt and myself and our entire team here at WFLA,
Professionalism,
right now,
you can count
Petito
on
or Schmidt
WFLA.
families are
I don't know if
watching.
that's
I just
their
wanna let you know
tagline,
that
but
our
it
hearts
should
are
be.
here with you on this
They're
story,
pretty
and we're
good.
thinking of you guys.
JB is pretty
At a
good.
moment of silence, we took you live to a memorial that was set up here in Northport, Florida, a couple of nights ago, and I just want to let you know that whether it's on the clock or off the clock, I'm thinking about you. We're thinking about you, and I hope that we can we've had so
They
many
can
comments.
still find him, though. His
Walt,
eyes
of
are a
people
little
saying
unusual, though. You
prayers
know,
for
his
Gabby,
eyebrows,
prayers for
and he's got a
Gabby's
scar
family.
in one
And I
of
think
them.
that there are a lot of people
like,
out there that really, really just want to send their well wishes. So on behalf of all of our commenters, our
everybody needs to
viewers,
look
and
at
our
his eyes.
entire WFLA News Channel 8 staff, if there is a member of the Petito or Schmidt family watching right now, I would just like to pass along that we're thinking of you. You're in our hearts and our prayers, and we are covering this story with as much care and as much compassion as we possibly can here as we try to find out exactly what happened to Gabby.
You know, and I think that to that point, we, you know, obviously there's a lot of criticism and fair criticism aimed at journalists, and but I would say for myself, and I think I can speak for JB, we do not lose sight of the humanity in this and realize that what we're talking about.
I think the criticism should be for the police
a 22-year-old with dreams and people who loved her. We've seen images of her smiling, happy. This is not one of them.
That's why somebody called
We've seen images of her maybe at one of her lower
and they
points
didn't
right
even
here.
pursue
So
that
we get
part
it.
of it.
And there's Mrs. Schmidt.
They never asked if she was afraid to say
We get
anything
it.
like that.
You know, we have kids, and I think
pursue it.
everybody sort of thinks about their own kids when they cover. Now, I don't know about everybody. I know myself. We think about our own kids when we cover a story like that because this is somebody who was just headed for success. She was chasing a dream on a journey, seemingly in love with somebody, and him seemingly in love with her, and then out of nowhere something goes wrong. No matter what happens, no matter what the cause of death is, we know something went wrong, horribly wrong, that she would die alone out in that area. So yeah, our hearts go out to those families, 100%. That's a great thing to say,
When she does a little peace sign and said Gabby never goes outside.
That the person, the human being, is in our mind as well.
Yeah, it's a story that has struck me emotionally. I think there have been enough clips circulating on TikTok and Twitter of some of my emotional moments here covering this story. And we are humans too. We are just trying to deal with all of the questions, all the inquiries, all of the reports, all the speculation, all the theories, all the social media platforms. But most importantly, we are trying to do everything as far as what our job is here with the knowledge that we have a family right now that is in terrible, terrible pain. And we can only hope that there's some news here soon that gives them some comfort, any comfort whatsoever, as far as what happened to their daughter. Let's resume now what we're going to really start to do. Walt, how long? I know that you have a very busy day here as far as working the phones. Okay. Let's go rapid fire here. File in your hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyWalt comments here. Eagle 8 HD had to depart from the scene. We'll get
thanks for the
a
likes.
reason here. It probably had to do with fuel. That's, as I understand, it had to do with fuel. But we'll get more of an update here
The
for you
whole
as far as
thing,
Eagle 8
I
HD.
don't know.
And
I mean, they're not
search
getting
efforts.
anywhere.
So
They're
right now,
just
we don't
saying
have a
the
live
same thing
feed.
over
That's why
and
we're
over
looking at some video here in the center of your screen. But what we can do here is carry the conversation forward. And we do that on WFLA Now by taking your questions. And we do that here with our hashtag system.
Oh, the hashtag system. Well, what would we do without the system? Right? I suppose it's about time for me to jump off here and do something with myself today. I just like to come on sometimes in the morning before I get my day going and say hi. Hey, how you all doing? Hopefully we have some news later. I hope to catch them today. Wouldn't that be good if they find that bad word today? I know all the questions on the stream are stupid anyways. Why wasn't he under surveillance? Because he hadn't been found to have committed a crime yet. That's why. Anyway, y'all have a great day. I might be back later. I've been really busy. I've been converting some of my lives to video uploads because it does not count towards your watch hours. I didn't know that. So now I got to change things. And I've been very busy. Oh, yeah. No, there wasn't. It was just that one. The one where he was smacking the shit out of her in the street. And the cops didn't even pursue it. I hope they all get suspended or something without pay. Something. It's terrible. She'd still be alive if they'd pursued it. It's a shame. Well, y'all have a great Monday. Today is, right? No, it's Tuesday. Oh, yay, it's Tuesday. Huh. Monday's over with. Yeah. Don't want to muddy the water. They do need to do something, though. Those police really did not do their job. They did the easy thing so they didn't have to do paperwork. That's a mistake. Now there's a pretty little girl that's not here no more. Y'all can email me anytime you want. I'm hippygirljo, hippygirljo @gmail.com. If you would like to talk more, we can talk over there. I hope y'all have a great day. I'm going to jump off here and do my chores like a good kid. Take care. Peace. You too, Bob. Have a great day. Be blessed, all ya.